guys, right? So, okay, let's talk Jesse Owens. Jason, I know you got something to say about this. Um, Zach said it in the chat a little earlier. Maybe you just need to win, and by you winning, that virtue allows you to speak louder than you being a nobody that nobody ever thinks about ever again, who was an also ran. Um, is it better to win against the odds and then protest silently, just to say, I have something to say, but I'm going to do it with my feet. I'm going to throw the javelin as far as I can. I'm going to punch as hard. Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like, Jason?
Well, I mean, I kind of dived into just the whole thing with Jesse Owens and, just his moment. And, that guy was in the lion's den. I mean, like, you have pictures of people hailing Hitler, and this guy standing on the podium, with his gold medal saluting. And, for him to win those four medals, and he got up there, he proved that he was in that position, and he proved that okay, I'm an African American man, I do matter. And that he also proved to Hitler, like, hey, I'm somebody who is important. And so my people who are African descent can actually stand up and do very well. But also on the other hand, because I'm kind of in the middle, I mean, the Olympics, everybody, they come and they represent their city. And yes, you can, excuse me, not city, country. And you can protest silently, but also, I mean, there's also that moment. I mean, and now the question is somebody willing to pay the price for that moment? Okay. If someone states Black Lives Matter, and I know most of you said, yes, this is a Western thing, but to me, after the whole George Floyd incident, seeing protests from, blacks, anti-black racism type protests literally going around the globe, I know the brand it is a brand, but also to me it's bigger than that. It is black people saying, okay, we matter, we are important. So I'm in the middle on this one.
Yeah. Bart, is being on the stage enough, or should performance dictate influence? Like in again that idea of is being there enough to be able to say whatever it is that you want? Because for the most part, there are hundreds of Olympians, thousands of Olympians that we had never thought of, we will never think about again, that work at home hardware, like in our own country. And so, what do you think? Do you think the stage is enough, or do you have to get to the stage? Mart, you're muted, my brother.
You're muted, fam.
Man, we're having some issues today with the mute button. I think you are you. It matters enough because you are decorated as an Olympian, and for a while it will do something for you. Let's say you went, but you did not win. You did not place. But I do have to agree that the ultimate um, protest is proving people wrong and showing up when people are expecting you to buckle. And what that does is solidifies your name in the history books, like Jesse Owens. And what happens is after the fact, those interviews and those interviews at the event and interviews back home when you get home, you get way more time. And this is, I think, the whole issue that I have with the whole idea of the protests and people maybe chanting Black Lives Matter, all that kind of stuff. It was like there's not a place for you to pointedly say something and encourage people to take action in something. But I think if you win, you are going to be interviewed like crazy after the fact, and you're going to come home a champion, a winner, and you're going to be able to enact more and more change. They're going to be pulling quotes from what you said after you win gold or you play silver in all these different countries around the world. And that, I think, is a great moment rather than just loud noises like Chase said, loud cymbal crashes and stuff like that. I want to enact real change. And if it's not going to matter in 5 years, it's not worth 5 minutes of my time or my energy. So every word that I say, if I'm not going to be able to help people take a step forward, that I think we're wasting our energy. So I want people to to show up and represent their country and have that moment, because a lot of these people dedicate their lives to be there. It has nothing to do about political reasons. They're just there because they gave their whole life to track, or they gave their whole life to the luge, whatever it is. So I don't want to take that away from them. They go there, do your thing, but at the same time, you as a winner, you get, that's part of the spoils. I now matter. I don't think anyone would have cared about Bruce Jenner, right, if he wasn't a winner. So I think being a winner matters in the sense that you now have longevity in your voice meaning something, and that's where you can make a better change.
I'm thinking about it, and I hear what you're saying, Bart. The thing is, to be honest, do people even care about Olympians after the Olympics are over? I don't really think, like, even if they do stand up there and they, they might protest. Yeah, they'll get a little bit of shine for, a day, but with the way that our world is going, with how quickly the news cycle is changing, right? Like how fast things are going, they just become, oh, that was a thing, it happened, but we're going to move on.
They're going to be on The View, fam. They're going to be on CBC.
Right.
They're going to be on all kinds of stuff afterwards.
Okay. How many of us care about Penny Alexiak?
I know, but what I'm saying is they have a brief moment where people are going to pay attention.
I agree with you, but I don't think that it's going to be. I don't think it will be as big as maybe we think it might be, and I think the IOC is probably thinking that it's going to be this big, huge spectacle. But like, I mean, we don't really care about our. Well, we do in Canada to a degree, right? But I don't know, man. I don't think that they'll have that impact. I think it goes back to what Andrew said, is that they'll probably have bigger platforms using social media and using TikTok and things like that, as opposed to, having the TV on, or being on TV, especially considering that the Olympics are in Tokyo, and when some events end and the ceremonies are happening, we're probably asleep, and so we won't see it in the moment, and we'll probably see it on the news, like things like that. So I don't even know how big of an impact maybe they'll have, to be honest with you.
I think the impact I think you're right to an extent, Steph, but it's the ability to leverage what they have in that moment is essentially what Bart is saying. So they may not initially have like the impact that I think that you're referencing, but they could leverage that moment to create longer lasting impact through like what Jonesy was talking about with like social media. So in that moment, like any one of us, unless you're Chase or Hosky, nobody really knows, and Jonesy, nobody really knows us, right?
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
In this moment, if we put something out, nobody's really watching it. But if I win the Olympics, in that moment, everybody's watching. And if I leverage that moment in that time, just like I think some of us even leverage being able to be around guys like Chase and Hosky.
Living in the overflow.
Thank you so much, Chase. Thank you so much.
Chris, thank you so much for putting us on.
By the way, thank you guys so much.
Adam, I appreciate you.
Leverage, if they leverage that moment and they actually are strategic in that, yes, it actually gives them the greater impact in the long run. And so I think that's kind of more so what Bart is saying. Like, yeah, you can use that moment once you win. And yes, like we don't really care, but if we care for that moment, that brief moment, and you leverage that the right way and the strategic way, then yeah, for sure.
First off, guys, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Hold up, did you just admit it now?
Yes,
you got
he
this
did.
on record that you
That's
did
why I
admit
said
it.
thank you.
All right, then.
And we have our viewers watching.
Hey, thanks for watching one of our House of Common show clips. To get more of this conversation on either YouTube or on podcast, click the link in the description below or at the end of this video. Remember that we are on live on YouTube at 10 o'clock every single Tuesday, and we drop a podcast every single Friday. Make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and we will see you again with some more clips. This has been the House of Common Show.